I'm looking forward to describing why we did what we did with this particular room, because it's had a really, really good reception on our website. So this is a beautiful cloakroom, obviously, and we decided to give it a very British feel. So on the floor, we have the fabulous 1860 Kensington Gardens decor. And on the wall, we've paired it with Vanguard, which is a lovely ceramic wall tile, very highly glazed, fantastic sort of undulating surface. So it really catches the light, as you can see in the left-hand corner of this image. And the reason they work so well together, I think, is they're both quite traditional at heart with the way they've been used, but also it's the fact that we're layering two patterns. We're layering a pattern on the floor that is quite dense, it's flowing, and then we've paired it with a lovely vertical stripe. And these style of patterns really work so well together. Let's have a little look at the mood board. Here it is. So Kensington Gardens is fabulous. It's a 15 by 15 centimetre porcelain tile, but it looks just like an encaustic, but no ceiling required because it's porcelain, of course. It comes with this lovely decor, which is a really interesting mix of a geometric shape with all these lovely little sort of leaf style patterns that sort of meander their way through the design. And it also comes with a border pattern with these lovely little florals and a matching corner. There are also plain tiles in the range, so you could also introduce an additional plain border detail around the perimeter, or even between where the border and the main field pattern tile meet. That would look great too. And then we have our Vanguard wall tiles. We've got Vanguard in plaster, which is this fabulous, soft, muted, peachy pink. And then Vanguard in parchment, which is just an off-white, creamy base. It looks quite white in this image, but that's to do with the lighting, to be honest. It is actually a lot richer, a bit creamier, as you will see in the photographs. So here they are together. In this particular setting, because it was a setup for a photo shoot, we had a completely square space to deal with, which meant we could actually run the border along the perimeter with a little corner in the corner, with no problems at all, because the whole room was so plumb and square. But if you are using a pattern like this in an old house, the chances are the walls are going to be running out. And then the tip is to actually bring this border into the room a little bit and run a cut tile of one of the planes around the perimeter, because that way, if your walls are running out, you're actually cutting into a plain tile rather than cutting into the border, which would obviously look a little bit unpleasant. So always use a plain border around the perimeter of our 1860 ranges if you're putting them into a traditional home where the walls are not completely plumb and true, which I'd be very surprised if they were. So here's another little image of the space. It's just charming, isn't it? That this pattern on the floor is such an interesting design because it's got the strong geometric and all these little sort of leafy designs that soften it so beautifully. And then you've got the more traditional borders and corners with this little daisy motif. It's really, really charming. Talking about the wall tile, I mentioned earlier, it's a ceramic tile. It's got a brick format. We've used the two colours together to create a stripe. And it's got a really lovely little waney edge, which is so charming. And it's very, very, very glossy, so it reflects light beautifully. The parchment colour I mentioned to you earlier is this soft sort of ivory off-white tone. And to bring out the richness in that, I've intentionally used a white grout. You could very easily have chosen an ivory grout, but I felt that would actually, you'd be losing a visual opportunity, because by putting the white with it, it makes the cream look richer. And this actually looks much fresher than it would if you actually had the ivory grout in this particular setting. So here it is again. It's a really lovely room. We've teamed it with some fantastic pooky lights and a lovely pooky mirror. The actual vanity top, etc., is all bespoke. And it's just a very charming little setting that would look so nice in any traditional or period style property.